has led the league a number of times in steals during the course of the regular season and once at the end.
Charles Barkley picks up his second, leaves the game, replaced by Kevin McHale. Tom Chambers is also in now. He replaces Karl Malone for the West. Terry Porter of the Trailblazers to Drexler. Worthy pops it. Chambers the rebound, stolen away from him by Dominique. Out of the pack to Alvin Robertson. Off his knee, loose ball, Michael covers up. Snap pass inside to Wilkins, who missed the layup. And Chambers is there. Here comes Drexler, deadly in an open field, and fouled as he took it to the hoop.
And as you look out on the floor right now, you have some interesting combinations. Right here, as you take a look at this quick snap underneath, great look, little fake by Neek, going up. Unfortunately, not finishing. What you have right now for the Eastern squad, due to the lack of point guards, is Michael Jordan running the show right now as their one man. And then on the Western squad, one of the things that Rick Adelman told us, I'd like to get players who play together during the regular season on the floor at the same time. You're talking about 3 Trailblazers out there, just because they know each other, play well together without set plays.
Drexler hits them both. West leads 19-18, exactly 3 minutes to play in the quarter. Parrish, double team. Porter swats it away, keeps it alive, and flips it into Duckworth. Terry Porter out of Wisconsin Stevens Point, not your basketball factory. Drexler out of traffic to Worthy for the jump. Keeping it alive on the board, but it comes out to Alvin Robertson. Michael, no look pass to McHale. Drexler got a piece of it, and they're letting most everything go. Chambers, behind the back flip, intended, I'm guessing, for Duckworth, but nowhere near it.
I'm not quite sure Chambers is the best at that wraparound pass on the break. From behind, there's the double team. Porter gets a piece, and it's one of the things that Adelman told us. I've got a double team and trap in this All-Star game. We're too small against that team.
The officials are letting them play, and the West leads by 1. We'd be embarrassed, as it was. There were about 10,000 there that day, and it was only 2 years later, when they decided it would be an annual affair, that they went back and reviewed the first 2 games and awarded MVPs. There's Wilkins with his first basket, and Dominique gives the East a 20-19 lead. Porter lets fly from 3-point territory and misses. So I asked Ed what the winner's share was. He said no winners and losers share. Everybody got a $25 government bond for participating in the first All-Star game. And what he remembers most was being in the same locker room with Dolph Schayes and Harry Gallatin. He said, I hated Dolph Schayes. Players didn't fraternize together.
I'm sure these guys are playing for $20 bonds today out here at the same time.
Here's Wilkins. Dominique with no luck on the roll, nor on the follow. Here's Parrish, and finally it goes down to the East.
Keep in mind, Dominique set an All-Star game record of 16 field goal attempts in one half back in 1988. He will get those shots up there.
As you know as well as anyone, his former coach. Worthy backing his man down, little modified hook, no good. Parrish has the rebound. And another turnover as it's off Robertson's hands.
One of the things about Wilkins, though, is his great ability to catch the ball in that post area and make something good happen. He likes to take it in the paint. There he is with his reverse move, steps around Worthy's outstretched arm and converts. You get him the ball down low, he's terrific. He gets you the points or gets to the foul line.
Game has been plagued by turnovers and so far low shooting percentages. Chambers, through a crowd of white shirts, comes up empty. Dominique got a piece of it. Robertson had his stride interrupted by a defensive hand stuck in there and missed the shot.
He was using his European 3-step move on that one.
Porter switches to the left hand. Ricky Pierce in the ball game now from the Bucks. Wilkins, look out. Oh, he blows the dunk.
He can't believe it.
Look at him at the other end, and Drexler misses the stuff at the other end of the floor. Here's Chambers. Got the layup at least.
You know, that's the dunk that Wilkins has used in the slam dunk competition. 2 times he's won it, where he brings it from down below his waist, hooks it up around, missed this one. As McHale tries for a 3.
Porter presses it back the other way. And off Worthy's hands and out of bounds. That's the 13th turnover in the game, 5 for the West. 8 for the East. And perhaps this is why Dominique elected not to defend his slam dunk title. He's a two-time champion, didn't participate yesterday. D. Brown, the Celtic rookie, won it.
Here it is from another angle. Nick just gets a little bit too far under the rim. Maybe those legs are getting a little bit older right now.
Worthy comes streaking back. Robertson trying to stop him. Nice move. The combined field goal percentage in the first quarter around 33%. Worthy got a piece of the inbound pass. Wilkins trying to beat the buzzer, comes up short, and that'll do it. A sloppy first quarter comes to a close. The West up by 1 at 23-22. Barkley a good first quarter. 6 points, 6 rebounds. Alvin Robertson to his teammate Ricky Pierce. Throw Jay Humphries in. It's one of the great three-guard rotations in the league. McHale trying to follow, slapped away, and a foul.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good argument, three-guard rotations in the NBA, because I think Detroit was the consensus, team that had the three guards, utilizing the best. But you think about Milwaukee with Humphries and Robertson, Pierce, Phoenix with Kevin Johnson, Hornacek, and Marley. You probably could talk about Portland now, adding Ainge to that team, and Walter Davis most recently. So there's some pretty good groups of threes out there.
McHale in his 7th All-Star game. He's made it when he's been starting for the Celtics. He's made it as a 6th man. He's only started 10 games this year. In fact, even when Bird was hurt, they moved him into the starting lineup. Things weren't going so well. They said, look, let's just keep the rhythm the way it has been. And they put him back on the bench and brought him off after the game had begun.
Chris Ford wanted to get him back into the same rotation when they had been so successful. They knew Bird was eventually going to return, so they did a good move by Chris Ford. And McHale went along with the whole thing, which makes it easy.
Chambers cranks it up. It would have been a three-pointer. Pierce couldn't save it. And it remains West ball. Chambers was the MVP of the 1987 game. Played on what was then his home floor in Seattle. He was with the Supersonics then.
Actually, a last-minute replacement for Steve Johnson, who was injured.
Duckworth, when you first look at him, you wouldn't think he'd have as soft a touch. He's more of a finesse player than his body would lead you to believe.
He's one of those centers that has the ability not only to perform down low, but step back and shoot the ball well facing up.
First minute of the second quarter.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the West really extends their defense and gets after the East right now, because Alvin Robertson is the point guard out there, which is not his most natural position. In fact, Del Harris has said all year that we're not real good when he's at the point spot.
Dominique misses the three. Magic is the only man to hit from beyond the arc in the game so far. Drexler with a nice dish to Duckworth, who hits it, but it won't count. They get him on the charge as McHale was brave enough to take it. Charles Barkley standing by with Ahmad Rashad. Go ahead, Ahmad.
Charles, now wait a minute. Now this game is starting off awful slow. At what point is it going to heat up?
Well, I think everybody right now gets a little nervous and a little hyper. I think when you first start out, everybody doesn't want to try to be a hot dog. Just want to go out and have fun. It takes a while to get going.
Then all of a sudden, people forget about passing once it gets wrong.
Once they get into a fast break mode, we'll be fine. But we got to work on Dominique. He's not pumping them shoes hard enough.
All right, Bob.
All right, Ahmad. Ricky Pierce made the last basket for the East. Chambers missed the reverse on the offensive end for the West. Dominique's pass deflected. Pierce has it, though. Into Robertson for the layup. Pierce got the assist that time. But check his scoring average. Almost 23 a game, which is 12th in the league. Worthy through a crowd, draws the foul. Ricky Pierce is the only man in the top 20 in NBA scoring who is not a starter. He's averaging 23 points a game in about 29 minutes.
Well, the interesting thing is that he has the ability, obviously, to score points almost at the rate of a point a minute, but here he drops off to his teammate. They're so familiar playing with one another.
If you went to a 48-minute projection, and obviously they're different sorts of players, this wouldn't necessarily hold up, but just out of curiosity, Michael Jordan, the league's scoring leader, and he's been that the last 4 seasons, would hit for about 40 points in 48 minutes. Ricky Pierce, 37.5.
Yeah, not far behind. Most any other teams, he would be a starter, but he knows his role with Milwaukee as Neek knocks out a jumper, facing up, and he does it so well for them. Bring him off the bench, but he knows he's getting his minutes every night.
Porter for 3. Chambers with the rebound, and Doherty fouled him from behind. Dominique, after that last basket, is just 2 of 8 from the floor. You got to believe this too, and although it hasn't been officially announced, it's likely that Minneapolis will get it the next year. Drexler got free as Pierce went for the steal and left him alone on the baseline.
I'm sure there are still some cities, franchises that would like to see the old rule with his representation from every team in the league during the All-Star game.
Dumars is back in. Chambers gets the steal. East by 1. Chambers from Porter with a full head of steam, but McHale is there to collect the miss. Dominique. Dumars knocks it down. Dominique's assist total, his field goal percentage, his rebounds have all gone up this year. His scoring average has stayed flat, right around 26, which it is for his career. But in every other facet of the game, he's taken a step up this year.
He certainly has, and he credits that to Bobby Weiss with partly the new system that he brought in, as well as his teammates letting him do a little bit more and accepting him for what he is.
You mentioned the old rule where every team had to be represented. The last year that was in effect was 1973. Of course, then the rosters were 14, now they're 12, and there were only 17 teams now instead of 27. But you had a situation where John Block, the forward from the 76ers, made the team because each club had to be represented, and the 76ers were 9 and 73 that year. After that, they decided, look, we'll just take the best players.
Well, maybe you told me that John Block had a heavy load to carry that year. You can't blame John Block.
Yeah, maybe he was a truly great player surrounded by truly putrid players. Dumars has it go off Pierce's fingertips. Terry Porter pounds it back all the way with a gorgeous move. We're tied at 32, just inside 9 minutes to play. Here's a steal by Worthy.
And the West defense is up. They're aggressive. They're overplaying. They know that they are physically, maybe size-wise, strength-wise overmatched, but they're going to make up for it at the defensive end.
Crowd reacts to Worthy, member of Dean Smith's 1982 NCAA champions, and 3 titleists with the Lakers. Another North Carolina product. Doherty picks this one up. Wilkins can't hit it, but he's coming to the foul line.
Anticipation of the defensive end. All right, the defensive player stepping up, forcing the action, leading the break. Porter finishing off with the little scoop move, right-hand layup.
And Porter picked up the foul on Wilkins' drive. Dominique can tie it if he hits them both, which he won't. The crowd isn't in it yet. Michael Jordan hasn't done anything special. No one has truly brought the crowd to its feet. Maybe Magic Johnson will. He's with Steve Jones. Go ahead, Steve.
Magic, the crowd is kind of quiet. What are you guys going to do to get them in the ball game? Got to pick the pace up on both sides, and you know, it's got to be moving fast. That's where we miss Isaiah, and because he liked to push it, I would push it back. It would be a fast-moving game, and so we got to get the tempo up.
Well, then I guess you better call Isaiah.
I better call him, get him out that cast, and come on out here and join us. Hey, come here right now.
Hey, doesn't Bob owe you a Pepsi?
That's right. He know it. See, the longer it goes, it turns into a case. You know, 2 cases. And I'm going to make him buy it in D.C. where I can get the money from it.
All right, back to you, Bob.
And you know he needs that cash.
Yeah, he's really, because he's a little short-handed right now in the pocket.
Yeah.
You know, he did mention, though, about Isaiah missing, and true to form, Pat Riley mentioned that every season that Pat did coach in 8 of these All-Star games, it seemed like Magic and Isaiah set the tone for the crowd by pushing it back and forth. And the East is missing that point guard that has the quickness to make that happen.
New backcourt for the West as Dumars unleashes a 3. Doherty got the rebound, keeps it alive to Wilkins against 3 defenders, puts it down.
Neek perhaps making the toughest shot over the top of the shot blocker is Hardaway, the guy who supposedly couldn't shoot coming out of college, knocks out a 3.
He played for Don Haskins at Texas El Paso, where he was mostly a take-it-to-the-hole guy. Really has improved his outside shooting. That's his first basket, a 3-pointer. Gives the West a 4-point lead. That one's going to count for Ricky Pierce, plus the foul. There are 3 guards on the floor now for the West. Adelman has Porter, Stockton, and Hardaway out there, along with Malone and Robinson.
Ricky Pierce so strong down low. He just basically overpowers many of his opponents during the course of the season. That's why Del Harris sends him down and posts him up a lot.
Completes the 3-point play. On the insiders portion of the pregame show, Peter Vesey said that Ricky Pierce could be traded any day. He's unhappy with his contract situation, and the Bucks at least are talking about it. Stockton can't hit off the screen.
And this has been something that has been going on now since the end of last season to talk about Pierce possibly going during the offseason. Then once the season started, he got off to such a great start. It was like, well, we can't send him now, but right before the trade deadline, something could happen with Ricky Pierce. The contract has been a big problem for everyone.
Loose ball foul was on David Robinson, his first.
So the mismatch is Pierce too big, too strong for Hardaway to guard.
Tries to take advantage of it, but can't this time. Doherty fouled by Robinson. So David picks up a couple of quick ones. And we go quickly to Steve Jones. Snapper.
All right, Bob Costas, Dr. J is here. He's actually trying to hide. You were a judge last night, now you've grown that beard. What is it, huh? You guys were tough last night.
Yeah, we were tough, but, you know, the dunk competition is something that people shouldn't take lightly. It's the highlight of the evening on NBA Saturday. And, you know, we wanted the winner to be one who was deserving.
Well,
And he was.
yeah,
D. Brown was pretty strong.
well, he was. How about the game so far?
It's a very well-played game. You know, there's a lot of balance. The guys are playing team ball, and I think in the second half they're just going to let it all hang out because, you know, it is dedicated to Project Desert Storm. So, you know, these guys got to get their fireworks going and let it hang out. They might be a little tense or a little nervous right now.
All right, let's go back to Bob.
All right, Steve. Pair have played against each other for many years in the ABA. Steve Jones, a three-time ABA All-Star. And Dr. J, the legend of the league. Doherty slicing through. Stockton picks it up on a bounce. The bullet to Hardaway, but he'll circle back out and wait for the flow to catch up. Now Magic does it, and does he ever?
And Magic right now playing as a small forward with this lineup on the floor. They've got Stockton, they've got Hardaway. They don't need Magic to be the other guard out there, so he moves up front.
The East asked for time, and we asked for a replay of Magic's last move, and here it is.
Magic taking Neek off the dribble, down the lane, finishing it off.
6:23 to play in the first half. West by a bucket to lead the East. Michael back in and hitting right away. 8 for Michael, who's now the game's high man. Stockton drives by him, misses the layup, but got the foul from behind. A measure there of Stockton's deceptive quickness as we quickly go to Ahmad.
All right, Bob, we are now joined by Carl Banks of the world champion New York Football Giants and another basketball fan off the football.
I'm a big basketball fan, and these guys are the greatest. It's my first love, but I guess I'm a frustrated basketball player.
All right, but your assessment of the game so far?
I'm enjoying it. They have the league's best out there. I'm a big Reggie Lewis fan, and I'm a little disappointed that he's not here, but other than that, the game is going great.
Now, we have both been to Pro Bowls, but have you ever seen anything like this All-Star weekend?
You can't beat this. You can't beat this. They really put on a show.
All right, enjoy yourself,
All
Carl.
right.
All right, Bobby.
Barkley forces one up. Michael tipped it, and I don't think they're going to allow that. Michael got it in mid-flight, and the basket is taken away.
I don't see any problem with getting a little bit of help from your friend. Charles knows it's going in. Michael just wants to make sure, kind of sticks a hand up there to help out.
West by 1. Magic extends it to 4, hitting his second three-pointer of the first half. He's the first man in double figures for either team. He's got 10. Michael, go ahead, they say. Off the back iron, Doherty chases the rebound down. Finds Barkley baseline. 2 tries. Now it's Wilkins. Doherty off balance left hand. They had 4 cracks at it, and the East couldn't come away with a basket. Here's Hardaway. Robinson.
At the last second, Hardaway was going to drop that pass off down low. Michael Jordan took a shot, gambled, shot into that passing lane. Hardaway just, at the last second, lofted it up over the top, laid it out there for Robinson.
Wilkins has it knocked away, but there's a whistle. It's the West by 6, matching the East's biggest lead.
Watch Jordan shoot to the left for the steal. Hardaway over the top. Robinson with the hands. Great catch, finish it off. Watch Jordan go left, anticipating the pass. No way.
David Robinson collects his 3rd foul. I have heard many regular season crowds, in fact, even exhibition game crowds in this building, much louder than they have been so far for the All-Star game. And the simple fact is that at any All-Star game, at any sport, many of the tickets go to corporate interests. Some of them are real fans, some of them aren't. Some of them are sitting on their hands. These are the best players in the world. David Robinson missing.
The other thing is there have been so many activities going on this weekend. There might be a few of them that stayed out a little bit late last night. They're worn out right now.
Has that ever deterred you?
I try to always be ready for my assignments, Mr. Costas.
4.5 minutes to play until halftime. Magic. He hit 2 of them earlier. Hardaway comes out with a rebound. Magic says one more try, and it is the charm, Robinson.
The Eastern squad right now is just standing around. The Western squad much more aggressive. They try to get themselves up a little bit. The East, well, the West will pull away as Michael tries to get...
Oh, yeah!
It looks so easy with him.
No, it doesn't.
That was one of your best moves, wasn't it, when you were playing?
That does not look easy to any mortal.
I thought he was going to shoot it with his left hand.
Leading the league in scoring at 30.8 in pursuit of his 5th consecutive league scoring championship. Last man to win it prior to Michael was Dominique Wilkins in '86.
He thanked me for all the plays we ran for him in that '88 All-Star game, and he scored 40 in that one.
David Robinson picked up that foul, by the way. Mullen at the other end. He still can't find the range. Malone tries to whip it inside. That's batted away. David Robinson leaves the lineup with 4 fouls. The only true center Adelman has behind him is Duckworth, although they could move Chambers into the middle. Mullen baseline. He touched it last after it was deflected away by an East player. Next Sunday on NBC. Patrick Ewing and the Knicks at home at Madison Square Garden in New York against the Pistons. Jordan through a crowd. Doesn't get the roll. Barkley will try. East moves to within 1 at 49-48. Hardaway on the hesitation move, lays it off to Malone for the bucket. King trying to make his move.
A little pick and roll. Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, once he gets in the lane, he's so tough. He's just had so many this game roll off the front of the rim. He's getting there, just not finishing off. But Charles, with the stress fracture of the ankle, seems to be working pretty well on the offensive boards.
Well, he's played the last 4 games for the 76ers. They were 2-5 in his absence. Here's KJ back in. Malone sits down. They have 4 guys on the floor who could play guard. Mullen, Johnson, Hardaway, and Magic Johnson. Chambers also in the lineup. Magic takes it down low and gets it.
Keep in mind, Magic did a pretty good job one season when they moved him up front, and he started as center against the 76ers and wound up winning the championship. He had like, what, 42, 44 that night?
Yeah, that was the 6th and final game of the title series in 1980 at the Spectrum in Philly. The first of 5 Laker titles in the decade. Ewing across the lane. That's a move he's developed since leaving Georgetown. He didn't have that kind of offensive versatility when he played for John Thompson there.
And he's become so much more confident facing up and shooting that they complement one another. As Hardaway again goes for the 3. Now he faces up. If you don't play him, he's going to knock it out, or he goes by you.
Jordan. Off a great pass from Hersey Hawkins, who could have had the layup himself, but went behind the back to Michael. Hawkins just picked up the foul, but watch this.
Hersey Hawkins understands where he is, knows who's in the game, and knows who to get it to. The crowd wants to see Michael do it, and he certainly does.
Hersey Hawkins, playing in his first All-Star game, finds the crowd favorite.
Fact. Right now, your Ford dealer can offer you dealer incentives and option packages that can save you thousands. Fact. savings on the best-built, best-selling American cars and trucks. Call it leadership. Call it winning. Call it anything you want. The simple fact is, Ford is #1. Get all the facts and all the savings during Leadership Month at your Ford dealer now.
We Brits are learning your American football. Right, Joe?
Yeah, right.
The other way! Catch the ball!
And after practice, we drink a great American beer.
Miller Lite.
Miller Lite, with its crisp, refreshing Pilsner taste, it's everything you want in a beer today.
What are they doing now?
They're practicing touchdowns.
Darling, after 10 years, the only thing I'd change about you is your clothes.
You go, boy.
Why don't you try this one on first?
Based on actual events.
Police! Call the police!
February 1988.
Open it wrong.
The Denver police couldn't stop the most dangerous man in their history.
They had him and they lost him.
But 2 average citizens did. Now they'll never let him go.
If they don't stop him, we will.
Now a motion picture based on the decade's most chilling capture. The Chase on NBC tonight.
The NBA All-Star Game is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
To this point, Michael Jordan is the high scorer. He's got 13. Magic leads the West with 12. Michael's 40-point game for Coach Mike Fratello's East squad in '88. Just a basket shy of the record, which is held by Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt got 42 in the 1962 game. That was the year he averaged 50 points a game for the Philadelphia Warriors.
He didn't have a bad year that year. He was the MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, first team All-NBA, and scored 40 in that game. Not a bad season.
Mullen ties it at 54.
You have Magic Johnson right now as the big forward, so he's played already in this game. Point guard, 2 guard or off guard, shooting guard, small forward, and right now he's the power forward for the Western Conference team.
Mullen, one of the great free throw shooters in league history, among the all-time leaders in that category, makes them both.
And there you see the turnover, and it's a result of not a true point guard, Hawkins, trying to bring it down against KJ.
KJ tried to get it to Magic, who argues that it was knocked away by an East player. A quick inbound, teammate to teammate, Barkley to Hawkins, and Hersey Hawkins, the third-year man from Bradley, has his first basket of the day. Mullen lets fly. That's a 3. West by 2 again at 58-56. Ewing trying to screen for Jordan, gets it back, but it's slapped away and stolen by Mullen, who stepped on the end line as he tried to come out of there. Back down to Ahmad Rashad.
All right, Bob, I am joined now by one of the few people in the world that can live up to their nickname of the human highlight film. But what happened here? Look at this dunk right here.
I ran out of film.
Dominic, everybody was up off their feet, man. What was your reaction when you missed it?
I said, oh, man. I said, what's that mean? I couldn't believe that was me, man. I just stood there on the floor. But, you know, I was so tight when what I should have did, I should have just went on just a regular dunk till I got loose. But you won't see that again.
But will we see a dunk again?
Oh, you see a dunk. You won't see that miss, is what I'm saying. You will see that same dunk.
I'll stay here till I see it, too.
You want to see it second half.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right, as Neek takes a seat, it was Barkley with the rebound and the follow basket. He's in double figures now with 10 and nearly as many rebounds. He's been a monster under there in the first half. Worthy and Barkley tie one another up. 10 points, 10 rebounds for Barkley, we're told. And a reminder, at the end of today's broadcast, we'll be selecting the Miller Genuine Draft Player of the Game. Barkley gets up highest. Jordan lays it off to Barkley. Lord Charles can't hit it. Chambers might have fouled him. And Mike Mathis says yes, he did.
West foul number 24, Tom Chambers.
That's his first.
That's his second.
Michael at the last second dropping it off to Charles, who finds the handle, steps around Chambers, Patrick's standing there saying, hey, Charles, how about giving me a chance for just a deuce, please?
A minute 9 to play until intermission, tied at 58. Barkley second in the league MVP balloting a year ago behind Magic Johnson, starting his 3rd consecutive All-Star game, and it's his 5th All-Star appearance.
Mentioned to us that the key thing for the 76ers, we've got to get to 4th place to have home court advantage down the stretch run here in the second half of the season.
Almost no chance to catch the Celtics atop the Atlantic Division. Mullen with a quick pass inside to Stockton, but he can't hit the tough angle layup. Here comes Hersey Hawkins blowing by everybody. East in front, 61-58. Chambers has it knocked away by Jordan. Ed Rush stops play.
That's what happened if you put the ball on the floor near Michael Jordan, you're asking for trouble because he finds a way of getting over there and getting his hands in there.
Watch,
Here
after he
Jordan.
loses it, he fouls Chambers fouls Jordan trying to get it back with the body.
Tom Chambers right now giving the West the different type of center look. The center who goes out behind the three-point line, as he tried to do that last time, draws Ewing outside and then either shoots the three, which he's very effective at, or takes him off the dribble.
Even though he hasn't really been hot, Michael now the game's high man with 15. Stockton, who's led the league in assists 3 consecutive years and is the leader this year with Magic second, finds Kevin Johnson, who misses badly, out of bounds to the east. 36 seconds left. Michael, 17 for him after the emphatic slam.
And James Worthy just happened to turn at the last minute and saw Michael flying by. Where'd this guy come from?
Stockton for 3. Barkley, another rebound, his 11th of the afternoon. East can hold for the last one. They're on a 9-0 run in the closing stages of the first half. Leading by 7, it's the biggest lead for either team. Barkley trying to screen for Jordan. Spins around, has the shot, puts it down. Here comes Stockton, behind the back flip to Worthy. Got to hurry. Gets off the shot. Counts if it drops, which it doesn't. And the East reels off the last 11 points of the half to head to the locker room with a 67-58 lead, and Jordan closes with a rush. 19 for him in the first 2 quarters.
Well, first, watch Worthy at the last second. 42 turn. Oh, who's this guy going by? Michael finishing it off. He's so quick. He takes off from the foul line and finishes that dunk off. They cover so much ground, the great athletes. And what he wants to do is face up 17-18 feet. So confident in that shot.
And we're back with Pat Riley and the Prudential playing with the 4 fouls, and he is fouled as he cuts through the lane.
Coming out of the timeout, little double screen. There comes Bernard off the double and knocks out the jumper. What a great quick release he has. He gets the shot off. It's a very unorthodox shot.
Something else he's able to do, he can vary his release point depending upon who the defender is, what the angle is.
Yeah, he is so great at adjusting the shot depending on whether it is a smaller opponent or a bigger opponent. Plus, he has that little fade on it, which makes it tough for the defensive player to get his hand on.
1 of 2 for Robinson. That breaks a 13-0 run for the East dating back to the first half. Jordan over Magic, doesn't stay hot, out of bounds, and it goes to the West. Kevin Johnson, only man on either team who hasn't scored yet. Robinson whacked from behind, and the West will put it in play from out of bounds.
And as Robinson puts it down, look at Michael Jordan sneaking up from behind, trying to get another steal and help out his big man defensively.
Get down here. Get down here.
Magic into KJ. Mullen slides through, tosses it up nice and easy. 69-61, the East by 8. Early stages of the 3rd quarter. Jordan reverses his field, cuts to the basket, and Robinson says, get that mess out of here. Magic off glass, and there might have been contact with it while it was above the rim, and they score the basket for Magic Johnson.
All the great defensive teams have people who can block shots. That back line changing, blocking shots. You save your teammates. Magic got beat off the dribble. Robinson protected him by blocking the shot.
West has scored 5 straight points. They creep back within 6. Kevin Johnson all over Dumars, who gets it away anyway and misses. And here's David Robinson, the league's rebounding leader, pulling that one down. The bounce pass from Magic intended for Mullen, picked off by the East. Jordan's pass, swiped right back by Robinson. Chris Mullen. KJ. His first basket of the day. When Tom Chambers came to Phoenix from Seattle, he said, they don't ever have to run a play for me. I'll just stay active and wait for KJ to break down the defense, and everything else will take care of itself.
And it's so true, because he just finds open spots to flow to. Kevin Johnson breaks down the defensive players, draws the double team so often, or help at least, that he just kicks it out to his open teammates. And there's D. Brown, the slam dunk champion.
His top move was to place one ball atop the rim against the glass, and to stuff that with one hand and bring the ball he was carrying in, whirlybird, in the same move and stuff them both.
Very familiar with that.
Yes, both of us are. The last foul was on Robinson, and that's his 5th. The Bob Hope Chrysler Classic follows to complete the afternoon of sports on NBC. Robinson goes out, Duckworth's back in. East up by 6 at 71-65.
Pick coming, John. Pick coming.
Mullen thought about a 3, drives around King, who hooked him for the foul. With all the point guards in the game for the West, they start to speculate about MVPs. It's interesting. In the entire history of the NBA, a guard has been the MVP for the season only 6 times. Magic 3 of the last 4 years, and then 1 each for Cousy, Michael Jordan, and Oscar Robertson. Jerry West never won it. But in the All-Star game, which tends to be a guard-oriented sort of thing, whoever got the ball in his hands is the guy who has the chance to hoist the shot. A guard has been the MVP in 20 of 40 previous All-Star games.
Well, as you mentioned, the guards have the ball in their hand. This is a more open game. They don't go down as much into the post-up situations as you do during the regular season, so the guards get an opportunity to shine a little bit more.
Jordan gets the steal, the Defensive Player of the Year a few seasons back. Ewing. Barkley. Dumars keeps it alive for the East. Quick pass to King. Won't miss many open like that, but he did that time.
There are some bodies banging right now. Duckworth, Ewing, Malone.
Magic for 2. The West comes back to within 4. They were down 9 at halftime. Michael. Ewing screens. Gets it back on the pick and roll and slams it home.
There are only so many plays that you can go to in these types of games. One is the 2-man game, the pick and roll. Another, the post-up situation. And then some type of movement or motion offense.
KJ. Duckworth. Misses the turnaround. King's got it. Lob out to Michael. 3-on-2. King from Michael tried to return it. Kevin Johnson out of there. 4-on-1. Only Ewing back. Malone. Karl Malone is wearing 13. He can't wear 32 in the All-Star game because that's Magic's number. And Johnson has seniority. Every year he wears a different number. This year, 13. In recognition of his draft position in the 85 draft, he was the 13th player taken in the first round. Barkley given daylight by Malone, has it spin out on him, and Magic has the rebound. Barkley rejects it. And Malone hits off the pass from Kevin Johnson. 1 year, Karl Malone wore number 26. Jordan gets ahead of the field. It squirts out of his hands, though. He contends that Malone got a piece of him. No call. Johnson spinning. Pass with no particular place to go, and then Barkley loses it out of bounds. 1 year, as I started to say, Malone wore 26 in honor of his then coach, Frank Layden. 26 had been Layden's number at Fort Hamilton High School in Brooklyn. Sometime when the ball was dead and they still jumped center after every basket. There's Layden working on the NBA's national radio network.
Frank Layden went on to be an outstanding player at Niagara University. Played with Hubie Brown up there.
And the coach there, and Hubie was his assistant for several years. Speaking of Malone, he misses that time, and Barkley has another rebound. The East lead is 2. West with a chance to tie it. Mullen returns to Malone, and Malone was fouled.
I think in the second half here also one thing you'll see is the officials tighten up a little bit on the calls, get the players on the foul line a little bit more. First half, an open game, they let some things go. Here in the second half, when they understand the players are digging in maybe a little bit harder, they blow the whistle.
Tempest Bledsoe was one of the hosts of the All-Star Stay in School Jam yesterday, along with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will Smith. Malone, when he first came into the league, a poor free throw shooter. He's improved dramatically in that department. He's also the league's leader in minutes played. He averages about 40 minutes a game.
And it was a big problem for Carl and for the team when he was not making his free throws. They were teams intentionally fouling him, putting him on the foul line rather than give up the dunks or the layups, and he understood that he was penalizing his team. I think one game against the Hawks when I was coaching, he missed 13 free throws in the one game. We won by 2. Obviously very critical, so he has improved in that area.
West can tie it. And they do with that free throw.
Look out.
They're on a 15-4 run in the last 4 minutes. And they creep back to a tie at 73. King into Ewing. And if possible, the early stages of the third quarter are even less fluid than most of the first half.
That halftime cooled them off a little bit too much.
Jordan thought about the 20-footer. KJ comes up on him. Here's Ricky Pierce of the Bucks. In the block to Barkley. Malone got a hand on it. Barkley got it back, and there you go.
One of the tough questions I was asked ever, a reporter asked me who would win a game, an all-star team or a regular season champion if they played one another. Tough question, but of course you can see the lack of execution out here with no practice.
Ewing got a piece of Malone's shot. Here comes Barkley, weaving his way through a crowd. Too close to Jordan. Look at Michael. He got stung by that one. From short range, he fired a bullet at him.
Shaking his finger, Michael said, "Easy, Charles."
You know, Charles could have gone all the way, and then he said, wait a minute. Lots of my pals here. Everybody's an all-star. Can't be a one-man show. Better give it up. But not that close, please. 6:50 to play, third quarter. It's a Ford 7-Lear Galaxy. He told me they were going to award a Mustang, but they figured Wilt or Russell would win it. Mullen hitting from the top of the key, and a Mustang would be too short, too small to accommodate their legs. Little did they suspect that the relatively tiny Adrian Smith would win it. He's still got the car, drives it 10 or 15 miles a week. Jordan was fouled inside. Drives it about 10 or 15 miles a week just to keep it humming. It has only 30,000 miles on it after 25 years. In mint condition, every part original except for the muffler, his memento of the lone All-Star game he ever participated in. He was the MVP in 1966. Jordan doesn't accept Magic's challenge. Ricky Pierce spins one up. Here's Barkley with the rebound, and back out to Michael. King lost it as Mullen got a hand on it. Here comes a 3-on-2 West break. Pierce almost broke it up. And it's Mullen trying to flip it in over his head, and it's out of bounds to the east. You know, watching the sloppy level of play brings up the question about pros on the Olympic team. They're going to be coming off an NBA season that ends in June. How quickly can even an excellent, well-focused coach whip an all-star team into shape for Olympic competition? Or will they be so much better than their competition that it will scarcely matter? That's Ricky Pierce.
Nice pass from Charles Barkley. The concern is a number of things. If you do send a contingent, okay, dominated by NBA players, the conditioning factor, number one. The team that just gets done in the NBA Finals, most of their players should be in pretty good shape. How much practice can you actually put NBA players through after the grinding season that they just finish up? There's no question with the talent the NBA has, we should win the gold medal in the All-Star game, but in the Olympic game, I should say. But again, choosing the team to me seems the most difficult thing.
Charles Barkley, by the way, has 13 points and 16 rebounds. And here we go to Steve Jones. Snapper.
All right, Chuck Daly, we want to know something. You're one of these guys that's mentioned as a possible Olympic coach, but how about an all-star team versus a regular season team for going into the Olympics?
Oh, I think you could you do well with that club, no matter who they are.
Could you get them ready to play?
You know, we took a club, we played the Olympic team last time that they were traveling about. We had a 30-minute practice, and we're up 20 with 4 minutes to go. These guys could play.
Well, now, you coached this team last year, and you had more defense in this game. What's happening out here this afternoon?
The defense is fine. There's so many turnovers and block shots. It's amazing.
Yeah, you did take all the fun of it with all this defense.
I think they're doing the same thing today.
Now, they're playing pretty good today. You got any thoughts about who's going to win?
I think the West is going to win.
Why?
I just got a funny feeling Magic's going to try to take it over at the end of the game. They've been resting him periodically, and he'll try to take it over. He and Magic will be interesting down the stretch because it'll get very competitive over the last 5 minutes.
All right, we got a tip. We'll find out whether Daly really knows anything. We'll be back with Bob.
All right, thanks, Chuck and Steve. Worthy got the slam off the wild scramble, ties the game at 77, and it's stolen away from Jordan. Karl Malone taking it the length of the floor, throws up a scandalous shot, but Duckworth is there to stuff it home.
Also, that was not a shot. That was the old backboard pass, knowing that Duckworth was following down the middle.
West has the lead. 4.5 minutes to play, third quarter. Worthy on Dominique. Evan Johnson on Ricky Pierce. Here's Doherty. Over Duckworth with a line drive shot. Barkley has the rebound, and he was fouled. Charles Barkley, nudged to play in this game, still nursing that sore ankle, has 13 points, 17 rebounds, and 4 assists. Last year, he had a groin injury and also said he'd prefer not to play, and David Stern's office called and said, no, Charles, you're one of the marquee players. You'll come to Miami, and he did.
Yeah, but Charles was a little bit concerned as we spoke to him the other day in mentioning to us that it's not that I don't want to play in this game. He said, I love this game. He said, it's great. The players want to be here. The players want to win. It's just that when you have a serious injury, he said, which I do have a serious injury, he said, maybe the best thing for me is to try and rest it a little bit and get well for the stretch run of the regular season.
Makes them both and reties it at 79. Terry Porter's back in from the Trailblazers to his teammate Kevin Duckworth. And Malone pushed off, trying to get inside on Barkley. And look at Charles clapping his hands saying, yes, yes. I was talking to him the other day, and he said, look, whenever Karl Malone and I get together head-to-head, we know whoever plays second best that night is, for one day at least, the second best power forward on the planet. It's these two guys, in Charles' opinion, and then the rest of the world is trailing far behind.
Charles Barkley, he's something special. Ricky Pierce with a deuce. Point a minute, Ricky Pierce. Almost, when he's on the floor, it seems like he gets a deuce every 2 minutes out there. And you mentioned before, he would be a 37-5 scorer with a 48-minute projection.
Pretty move by Drexler, whirling for the bucket. Pierce, by the way, has 9. Drexler has 6. And we're tied again at 81. Dominique. Looked good, but no result. Porter. Drexler trailing the play, and that's timing only teammates can exhibit.
It's the eye contact, knowing what your teammate wants you to do, that little eye signal, the hand gesture, put it up there, I'll go get it. They know what it's all about, those two.
The Portland Trailblazers have 7 guys in double figures, and Walter Davis might make it 8. Drexler could probably be averaging 6-7 points more a game, but he's pulled his own offense back to fit into the team concept. Some people think it might cost him the MVP award if Portland winds up winning the championship.
The great look, the great catch with one hand by Drexel, and then the finish. And to follow up on that, you know, each of these players on the Portland team, the guys who are averaging double figures, their minutes are down almost 3 to 4 minutes a game from last season. Now, the balance is terrific. They may be a little bit fresher come playoff time, but as happened in this playoff game, there was no starter for the Portland Trailblazers. It might hurt someone as far as the MVP consideration goes.
Brad Doherty with 4 points after completing the 3-point play. Drexler misses that time, and Doherty has the rebound. His Cleveland Cavaliers have been decimated by the injuries to Mark Price and John Hot Rod Williams. Kevin McHale from the Celtics back in. Alvin Robertson. And the buck guard takes it all away. Alvin's going to get some bad news after the game when he finds out that his old Arkansas Razorbacks gave the Runnin' Rebels a run. But Arkansas lost at home 112 to 105. So UNLV is 20-0, and they stay number 1. Malone was fouled. Stacey Augmon, who figures to make many appearances in the future in the NBA All-Star Game. Had 31 today for UNLV as they won that big showdown in Arkansas. Here's the former Razorback Robertson.
Two-man basketball. McHale setting the screen. Robertson turning the corner, finishing off with the dunk. We'll be right back.
Everyone in this game, with the exception of Alvin Robertson of the Bucks, who makes about $800,000, and Tim Hardaway, the young backcourt man from the Warriors, who makes $500,000. Everyone else makes at least $1 million a year. Some well over $2 or $3 million. $5 grand is really just tip money for them on a weekend like this. Drexler knocked it away. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the NBA and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association. Doherty with a no-look pass to Wilkins, and he's stuffed by Worthy, but a foul.
And James Worthy turned around and looked at Lee Jones and said, wait a minute, Lee, my hand was on the ball. That was clean. Nice backdoor taking place by Neek here. Doherty sees it. Worthy up. Looks pretty clean from here.
Clean enough considering what they've let go at other times in this game.
Maybe they felt sorry for Neek because he missed that dunk earlier in the game.
You agree that Dominique has kicked it up a notch in almost every respect this year, that he's better this year than he's ever been?
Yeah, no question. He has gotten his teammates more involved by giving up the basketball when he's double teamed. It's helped the Hawks have this great winning streak at home now, and gotten them back from that devastating 9-game losing streak earlier in the season.
Inside 2 minutes to play in the quarter as Stockton goes to work. And before the pass, there's a whistle. Dominique Wilkins picks up the foul. It's his first. And as Stockton goes to the stripe, we remind you about next week's schedule on NBC. We've got the Pistons and the Knicks at the Garden on Sunday. And that's followed by a Monday afternoon telecast. Chicago will be at Cleveland. Brad Doherty of the Cavaliers with the rebound as Stockton made 1 of 2.
And the West team will pick up its defensive pressure now, knowing that the East is hurting for a point guard in the backcourt.
And now what you don't like to see in an All-Star game has started to happen over the past several minutes. Lots of whistles.
Well, the referees know that the players are going to pick up the intensity, particularly at the defensive end of the floor. There's a little double-team trap. Alvin Robertson saying, where's everybody coming from? Give me some help back here. He is not a true point guard. You got Ricky Pierce in the backcourt with him right now. So the West is going to get up and try to make some things happen with their defense.
There are some real games to look forward to coming up this week in the NBA. The Lakers have to play at Phoenix, try to extend that 16-game winning streak. Here's Stockton all the way. They let him come through the lane for the easy layup. 90-88. The East now by 2. A week from tonight at the Forum in Los Angeles, it's the Trailblazers at the Lakers. Dominique had to walk on that one, and he did. Too flagrant to let it slide. You know, the Trailblazers opened 19-1. The Lakers were 2-5 at one point. Drexler inside had to change the shot, and now on the follow try, he's fouled. Think of Portland's situation. They're 39-9, and yet because of the 16-game Laker winning streak, Rick Adelman's team leads by only 3 and only 2 on the loss side.
Well, Rick mentioned to us that, look, we understood that the Lakers were going to make a run. They have a terrific team. The slow start he attributed to the fact that new coach, new system, new style, everyone getting adjusted to one another. But with a Magic Johnson on your team, he's just not going to let that team lose on a regular basis. They turn it around, 16 in a row right now. And as you said, chasing the Trailblazers, only 3 behind. And they still match up against each other, I believe, 3 more times this season.
Drexler ties it at 90. McHale trying to screen for Dominique. He finds Doherty for the baseline jumper. And the East goes in front by a deuce. Porter looking for Duckworth, off his hand and out of bounds. If Portland should give up that top spot in the West, if the Lakers or someone else catches them, and they don't have the home court advantage all the way through, they might look back to those 2 losses against Sacramento. The lowly Kings are the only team to have beaten them twice this year.
What a nightmare that was. They missed 20 free throws in the last loss to Sacramento. Shot 33% for the game.
Drexler got all of the rim, but none of the net on the attempted stuff off the Stockton feed. And now here's Doherty slamming it home with Wilkins picking up the assist. Porter back all the way. Terry Porter slices it back to 2 at 94-92. We're trying to put on a show. We've had at least 4 missed dunk attempts in the game. Wilkins finds McHale. In and out for him. Worthy on the run. It's a 3-on-2 for the West. Worthy dishes to Stockton. Misses the layup. It's off the hand of Robertson, though, so the West will keep it with just under 3 seconds to play in the quarter.
If you think about it, many of these players have not played since Thursday night. They really haven't had a strong practice at all since they've been here, and they are such finely tuned athletes that a couple of them are puffing pretty hard right now.
Porter tried to tie it and can't. 12 minutes left in regulation. The East 94, the West 92, and we're back after these messages and a word from the start the fourth quarter. Stockton to Worthy with the West in control, looking for the game-tying bucket. And it isn't there. McHale has it. Doherty, Robertson, Wilkins, McHale, and Pierce on the floor for Chris Ford as we start the fourth. Robertson misses badly, and the West has it. Drexler, Porter, Worthy, Chambers, and Stockton. Chambers open. He's hit just 2 of 6, and he has 4 points. He scored 21 points in 21 minutes last year in the All-Star game at Miami. And Pierce travels as he lost the handle. And as we told you earlier, Chambers was the MVP of the All-Star game in '87.
2 possessions coming down the floor. 1 rushed, hurried shot by Robertson. 1 turnover by Pierce, missing that other point guard in the backcourt.
And now a charge by Porter.
30. Offensive foul number 30, Terry Porter, his second personal.
Little crossover, good anticipation by Pierce. Moves his feet, gets in front of the guy, picks up the offensive foul. And this isn't exactly the easiest matchup. Wilkins trying to handle against Drexler.
Clyde reaching in, looking for the steal. And a foul on the West squad. You said before the tip-off that it's only in the fourth quarter that strategy, and even then not all that much, but some strategy kicks in.
Well, you're concerned about the matchups, and there's Michael's dad, Mr. Jordan, who follows him all around. He's a terrific fan of Michael's. His mom and dad, 2 wonderful people. We've had the opportunity to speak with them many times. But down the stretch, I was saying that you have the opportunity to try to hurt people with certain matchups. Percy, 4-3 with a miss, and that's where the coaching is going to come into play.
Here comes Hardaway, all the way, misses with the left hand, and Michael has the rebound. I wonder whether he adopted his dad's hairstyle or the other way around. They both definitely have the same approach to the dome. Striking resemblance between the two, isn't there? Even up at 94, 10.5 to play in the game. Chambers guarded by Ewing, trying to shake him, and Patrick commits the foul.
Patrick up real close, not letting Chambers face up and shoot the perimeter shot. Tried to crowd him. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to move his feet quick enough because Chambers can put it down on the floor. Tries to turn the corner. Maybe a little bit of a trip there by Patrick. Or a little push, one way or the other. He's going to get him down.
Chambers goes to work again, and back out to Hardaway. Hardaway tried to pass it through a crowd, deflected out of bounds. Tim is the game's smallest player and has the smallest wallet. He's listed at 6 feet, probably closer to 5'11", and at this early stage of his career has to try and scrape by on about $500,000 a year, which will jump dramatically next time.
And here he is. As Hardaway knocks it out, Magic said recently in an article, Tim Hardaway has the best crossover dribble in the NBA. So quick, right to left, boom, boom. He says you're dead.
McHale from Michael doesn't hoist the 3. Dominique in traffic, fouled. Mentioned Dave Cowens among those making the Hall of Fame. Our congratulations to the others as well. Coach Bob Knight of Indiana, Larry O'Brien, the one-time head of the Democratic Committee, and then the commissioner of the NBA, Nate Tiny Archibald, Harry Gallatin, and Larry Fleischer from the Players Association.
All the
95, Bernard King has made the All-Star team 4 times with 3 different teams, with Golden State, with the Knicks twice, and now with the Bullets. Ewing was fouled before the shot.
At the other end of the floor, Clyde working the offensive boards, and he's bigger and stronger. Then Hersey Hawkins just jumps over the top, moves him out of the way, and scores on the follow.
Tom Chambers just picked up his 3rd. David Robinson's been on the bench for quite a stretch with 5. Wilkins almost lets go of the 3, lets Michael do it, misses the 2-point attempt from the baseline, gets the rebound back, 4 defenders there, and one of them, Drexler, swats it down. Here comes a 4-on-2 with Stockton. The trailer is Chambers for the jam.
He's not running back in transition right now. The West, with this small, quick team on the floor, Chambers as the center, had all 5 players down at the end of that break.
Wilkins, quick slithering baseline move, didn't hit it, but Ewing is there for the follow. Patrick with 11. Worthy. Patrick has the rebound as he got back down quickly, hustling on defense. Jordan comes through, finds Barkley, waits for the traffic to clear and lays it in. 100-99 with 8.5 minutes to go. The West in front by 1, and now Stockton will wait. Hardaway over Michael. Flat-footed rebound to Barkley, who's closing in on 20 rebounds. Chambers guarding Ewing with Duckworth and Robinson out. Patrick trying to abuse him, and he does.
Well, that's where they'll suffer. Chambers may hurt him at the offensive end of the floor, but if they keep going down inside to Patrick, he's too big for Chambers. He just backs him down, overpowers him.
Stockton with the runner that goes in and out, and Barkley clears the boards again. His 18th rebound. Jordan. Dominique. Drexler strips him. Got it cleanly, says Mike Mathis, and then Barkley tackles Drexler to short-circuit the break.
And Charles, getting caught back at the defensive end, knows that there's no way he can move his feet with Drexler. He said, wait a minute, you come right here, stay with me. I'll take that foul. You can have it out on the side.
4th foul for Barkley. 2nd team foul on the East in the quarter. Porter's pass deflected, and Michael winds up poking it over to Wilkins. Michael all the way, lays it in.
And there's Mom, Miss Jordan. She liked it. The crowd liked it.
Hardaway didn't like what happened there as Ewing said, get out of here, little man.
When he sees the opening, he turns it up just another notch and hurries to get to the rim, where he's the best at finishing.
This ball out of bounds into Chambers. That, by the way, was Jordan's first basket of the second half. He had 19 at halftime, 21 now. And number 21, Dominique Wilkins, picks up the foul.
Dominique Wilkins has his 2nd, team's 3rd.
If we were to declare an MVP right now, Barkley might have the inside track, huh? With all the rebounding he's done in addition to scoring.
Yeah, Charles has really worked hard on the glass to keep this Eastern team in the position they've been in. But Jordan's getting the points for him.
Chambers with the floater. A soft left-handed shot brings the West within 1 at 103 to 102. Just under 7 to play. Here's Hardaway with a steal, and Michael fouls him before he can take off.
Nice move by Hardaway. He just timed it, went for the steal.
Whether you take your lunch to work or your work to lunch, today's special is Sharps from Miller, the breakthrough non-alcoholic brew with real beer taste.
Of all the extraordinary new automobiles that come to America, only one was awarded Motor Trend Import.
Pair of three-pointers in the first half, leads the West with 16. He was the MVP of the All-Star Game a year ago. Up for grabs this afternoon. 6:40 to play. West with the ball and down by 1. Malone was fouled, and he'll have a chance to give his team the lead.
Interesting if they would come out of the timeout and go to what you would call a bread and butter play for Karl Malone. Give him the ball, low left block. That's where he likes to play from. That's what he does with Utah all season. That's what Rick Adelman did for him just then.
Patrick Ewing picked up his 4th. He still holds the 1-point lead coming up after the NBA All-Star Game. Final round of the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic. Charlie Jones and the rest of our golf crew standing by. Malone can tie it. Missed them both. Michael has committed 10 of the East's 27 turnovers in addition to his 21 points. Hersey Hawkins hits. He came off the screen and was wide open after receiving the pass. Chambers lost it coming through. Porter picks it back up. Porter from Hardaway. Shot clock down to 5. Chambers traveled.
You mentioned that Michael Jordan had the high number of turnovers, but keep in mind, he's kind of moved over now, and he's handling the ball much more than he normally does during the course of the season, acting as the lead guard or point guard for the Eastern squad.
East by 3 as we move inside 6 minutes. 41st NBA All-Star Game.
The biggest fear of a coach during the season, giving Michael Jordan the ball at the end of the game and giving him a screen out high. Tough to play.
His pass for Ewing broken up by Porter, still East ball. Magic returns and asks Clyde Drexler, the man he's replacing, who have I got? Porter also out and Kevin Johnson back in.
And now Magic moves up front as the small forward with KJ and Hardaway still on the floor.
Jordan releases off the inbound and hits. 23 for Michael. Hardaway all the way. Malone kicks it out to KJ. Magic for 3. Chambers. Malone. 5 tries and nothing. Maybe they'll get a 6th try. That one doesn't fail. Hardaway to Malone. Clock ticking down toward 5 minutes. East with the ball and a 3-point lead. Malone on Barkley. Michael trying to post up on Hardaway. Instead, it's Ewing who was fouled as he was double-teamed.
At the other end of the floor, Magic lets fly with a 3-point attempt, misses, and then here comes the hard work. Chambers said, let me get it up there quick before Ewing tries to block it. Malone just can't get a handle on it. They keep it alive. Barkley said, I'll start the fast break. And then Hardaway said, no, you won't. I'll take it back. Let me give it to those big guys underneath so they can finish it off. The mailman hammers it through.
Ewing rattles it home. He's averaging 26 points a game and 11 rebounds a game. You know, prior to last year, this is amazing. He was never in the top 10 in the league in rebounding.
Well, 2 big concerns when he was coming out of college, even though he was the #1 pick overall in the draft. How big of a scorer would he be in the NBA? Because he lacked, they said, a lot of post moves, big man moves. The other thing, he's not a big-time rebounder at Georgetown, but I think the style of play had something to do with it. There weren't that many shots at Georgetown because they controlled tempo.
Out of bounds, it goes to the East. David Robinson has come back in. He's playing with 5 fouls for the West.
I mean, he did bring his team to 3 NCAA tournament finals, right, in 4 years?
And he is averaging 11 rebounds a game now for John McLeod's Knicks, and he is among the league leaders in the category. Jordan Barkley, Bernard King, Jordan shooting and missing. Hersey Hawkins and Patrick Ewing. Those are the 5 on the floor for Chris Ford's East team. David Robinson through 2 defenders and fouled as he made his move. The basket counts.
David Robinson has great quickness when he turns and faces up on his opposing centers. That little 10-foot jumper, he knocks that out, so he squares up, faces up, quick move, puts it on the floor, gets in the seam, actually gets through the double team where Michael Jordan was trying to get back there to help out.
5 fouls on Ewing now. For the West, it's Robinson, Malone, Mullen, and the two Johnsons, Magic and KJ. Go ahead, says Magic. Says Michael.
And the West actually has the bigger team on the floor right now.
Now he will. Robinson chasing it to the sideline, can't save it. Still East ball, 4:05 to play, East by 2. Look at Larry Brown's quote on David Robinson. Obviously, he has many friends and former classmates at the Naval Academy who are stationed in the Persian Gulf.
Earlier in the season, when we had an opportunity to work a San Antonio game, after about 30, 35 games, he said probably 28 to 30 of these games, David Robinson has been responsible for us getting the wins that we have. Suddenly, at least they felt it was a mismatch with Chris Mullen guarding King.
Magic to the hole. Can't tie it. Another try. Ewing held his ground and no foul was called. Barkley out of there with the ball. Jordan collides with KJ and a blocking foul, no charge.
Good call. Michael never had the chance to come back down. KJ stepped underneath. Michael looking back for the outlet pass after the fake. Ewing stays down, gets his hands up, gets a piece. And Charles throwing the pass. Michael looking back. There's KJ trying to get the charge, but stepped in a little too soon.
Jordan trying to extend a 2-point East lead. .110, 107, 3.5 to play. Robinson has it if he wants it. Misses it by plenty. Another rebound for Barkley. His 22nd rebound. Hersey Hawkins misses. Jordan chases it down. Barkley whips it inside the King. King lays it off to Ewing.
Bernard King is such a great passer, particularly in the interior area when those big people are trying to collapse on him. He finds his teammates.
The East goes up by 5. A foul away from the ball. Kevin Johnson goes sprawling into the basket support. Watch the ball movement by the East the last time down.
Barkley finds him. King knows his teammates open. Now Ewing's got to send it down over the outstretched Robinson.
We showed you how it looked. That was how it sounded. The power jam from Patrick. 2:46 on the clock. East by 5. Tied at 110. It's in the hands of Mr. Clutch. Look at Walt Frazier of the Knicks guarding Jerry West. Oscar screens for him. Havlicek also there defensively. West knocks it down from the head of the key. You saw Wilt coming over to give him a high five. And the West wins 112 to 110. In this one, we've got 2:46 left. And the West is down by 5, 112-107. Kevin Johnson cuts into it a bit. Only one of 2. But the rebound for David Robinson, and it becomes a 3-point trip down the floor for the West. Both Robinson and Ewing are on the floor with 5 fouls apiece. Barkley also has 5 for the East, and he remains in the game. Jordan. Left-handed off the drive. He's now 10 of 24 from the floor. He's got 25 points in the game. Make it 26. He's the high man with 26. Magic. Ewing rejects it. Jump ball is called as Johnson reaches in.
As long as Michael Jordan controls the ball, they'll continue to set screens for him, shake him free, get him in that lane area. Then he has the great ability to change hands and finish it. And a little bit of help here. Pierce in trouble. Magic too big. Ewing comes over. Clean block on the ball.
West has it off the jump. Down by 4. Mullen has room. Malone keeps it alive for the West. KJ cuts the lead to 2. He was scoreless in the first half. He has 5 points in the second.
Here comes Charles again, gives him the screen, shaking free. Mismatch right now, Malone having to guard Jordan.
Pierce to Ewing, hits the 10-footer on the baseline. A minute 35 to go, Mullen back. Fouled on the play as he tried to slide across the lane. Ricky Pierce picks up the personal.
Not exactly a guy that you would like to foul, sending Chris Mullen to the free throw line.
Shooting 2 will be Chris Paul.
Only shooting 87% from the free throw line this year.
And he's the 5th best free throw shooter in league history.
I asked him about playing guard full-time in the league. He said offensively, no problem. Defensively, I might have a little problem guarding some of the quicker guys.
West moves within 2. Inside a minute and a half. Barkley again screening from Michael. Malone picks him up on the switch. Tried to go with the fadeaway, but Carl got a little piece of it. Michael saves it into Pierce. Barkley, 3 on the shot clock. Had to try to get that one up there. Kevin Johnson with the save into the hands of Bernard King, but a 24-second violation as they never got a shot up to the rim.
Excellent team defense. They used their hands. They got in there. They scrapped. They knew they were in trouble. The East had 2 real good opportunities with bigger people down low. They just couldn't get a shot up at the basket.
23 seconds remaining on the shot clock.
Now Lee Jones and Ed Rush, like Mathis coming over, discussing some sort of shot clock adjustment.
They are saying, I believe, that the ball is going to be given back to the white team.
They're going to assume that when Kevin Johnson went up in the air and saved that ball in bounds, that constituted possession for the West. So possession had changed, and there's no 24-second violation. Watch. So the East keeps their 2-point lead. They get the ball back when we come back.
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place. All my dreams never go fast.
3 reminders from a leader in 4-wheel drive and all-wheel drive technology. 1. Don't try this without the advantage of 4-wheel drive. 2. Don't try this without the advantage of all-wheel drive. And 3. Don't try 1 or 2 without the advantage of Jeep or Eagle.
Listen to this. I make long-distance calls from payphones all the time. If I don't hear AT&T, I hang up. I dial 10 ATT0. Then I hear bong, AT&T, and I know who I'm dealing with.
When you make a long-distance call and you don't hear AT&T after the hang up, dial 10 ATT0, then the area code and number. You get the AT&T service you want and prices you expect.
You just gotta listen. AT&T.
The underworld is deadly.
Make a lot of trouble for you.
And Perry Mason is their next target.
Perry!
An all-new Perry Mason mystery on NBC Monday.
Let's listen in now on the East Huddle and Coach Chris Ford.
So they're now here at the big guys one-on-one. Let's see what we can get off now. See the roof here? And just good defense down there. They got to score. He's going down the
Chris Ford trying to make sure that everybody understands what we're going to do here to try and create a good shot, trying to get an isolation for a big man, head up, and then explaining what we're doing at the defensive end of the floor. He called his red defense out. We'll see if that means double teaming or staying at home with your own people.
Michael operating against Magic. Ewing screening. Robinson switches. Pierce double pumps and misses. important rebound, and Mullins got it. A chance for the West to tie with 50 seconds left. Kevin Johnson. David Robinson almost threw it away, does throw it away. KJ took his eye off it. There were only 5 seconds on the shot clock.
And KJ was on his way to the offensive boards. He thought Robinson was going up with the shot. David gets up, elevates, look across, and there's KJ on his way. Tries to get back, but takes his eye off it, as you mentioned.
The East can't eat up the entire clock.
What a feeling this is, to be standing out there one-on-one, trying to guard Jordan. Give me help!
He goes by Magic. He dumps it inside to Barkley, and a jump ball call. Robinson's going to be at the line to jump it, along with Barkley, with 17 seconds to play in the game.
East better make sure they cover the backcourt right here.
Tip goes to the West, and a timeout is immediately called. There have been 4 previous overtime games in All-Star competition. We might be headed for another.
Robinson has the agility to catch and take it to the basket, and then a great shooter, Mullen, coming off a weak side screen.
Mullen triggers it into Johnson. KJ, that is. Now here's Magic, guarded by Pierce. Around Robinson's screen, he rolls to the bucket, cut off by Jordan. Magic's got it now. For 3! KJ for 3, that could win it, and it was touched. It was touched by Malone as it approached the bucket, and that'll disallow everything. The East is going to have the ball with 2.9 seconds.
I'll tell you what, from here, it looked like that thing was dead in the center of the hole.
Looking for the quick foul to stop the clock, but they can't catch Jordan. And that's that. Barkley embraces Jordan. Charles had 17 points and 22 rebounds. Jordan scored 26 points. He was the leading scorer. Let's watch the last play as Kevin Johnson releases a three-pointer that could have won it for the West.
My goodness. That looked like a game winner to me.
It at least had a chance. Maybe this other angle will tell us more. It might have been there. Impossible to say for sure, but it very well might have been there. Now watch KJ's reaction. Good square up. He had lots of time. Barkley runs at him late. He's trying to use the body English to send it in there. No, no, he says. Carl, how could you do this to me?
Come on. That was a 3, Carl. He gives him a little boot right after this, where he says, Carl, what are you doing?
A chance for glory, narrowly missed for Kevin Johnson. One more look. He clearly touched it. Obviously, it was the right call. I'm not sure what Karl Malone was thinking. Let's go to Ahmad Rashad. I'm guessing he's with the MVP, who is Charles Barkley.
All right, Bob. It is now that time to announce the winner of this year's MVP for the NBA All-Star Game. And to make that presentation is the NBA Commissioner, Mr. David Stern.
Charles, we're really thrilled that you volunteered to be here. And we think that we now understand, with 17 points and 22 rebounds, why they call you the round mound of rebounds. You were spectacular. Congratulations on being the MVP amongst all of these great stars.
And now for another special presentation, we have the Senior Vice President of the Miller Brewing Company, Mr. Chuck Schmidt.
Charles, today you were one of the greatest athletes in the world playing against the greatest. And in honor of that, the Miller Brewing Company will present a check for $5,000 in your name to the Thurgood Marshall Fund. Congratulations.
Charles, now I imagine that if everything was right, you would like to come down here fully healthy, but you came down and played a whale of a game.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for the award, everybody who voted for me. And I thank God because I'm very lucky to be one of these NBA players, and I can always try to give him the credit. And I am glad that I came down here. Obviously, my foot was giving me some problems. I haven't been playing well lately, but hopefully this will give me some emotion and I can play better the second half. But I just wanted, I hope everybody had a really good time today, and I hope for the and you know, I hope this situation in the Persian Gulf puts sports in perspective. It's supposed to be entertainment. People have gotten out of hand with it, but hopefully sports will get back in its proper context, what it is, entertainment. And I hope for 2 hours today, the troops over in the Persian Gulf and the fans can forget about everything and just enjoy themselves.
All right, Charles, thanks for those words. Congratulations to you and continued good luck on the rest of the season. All right, back to you, Bob.
Okay, Ahmad, so Charles Barkley can be grateful for that late call from the league office urging him to play. He winds up the MVP with 17 points and 22 rebounds. Our very best once again for Marv Albert. He'll be back to call the game between the Pistons and the Knicks next Sunday on NBC.